Port Moresby gives to Cordova relief as eruptions continue. Censorship office says parents have responsibility. And United Church in Papua New Guinea turns 50.
This is the National EMTV News with Meribah Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Sunday's news. An estimated 100 bags of donated clothing will be shipped to the affected people of Cordova, BM and Ruprop Islands. These donations were made by Port Moresby city residents.
A number of venues have been allocated for people to donate in cash or kind to the affected islanders in East Sepik. Since last Monday, Port Moresby residents have donated clothes and other household items. James Yalya, who is coordinating the donations through the NCD Governor's Relief Appeal, says close to 90 people have responded and donated items.
1 week, people have come with donations, mainly with clothes. So far so good, but not enough. We'd like to ask the general public, we still have 2 more days before we close down this center. So it would be nice if the public who have not made a contributions or donations yet, please, I'd like to ask that they come and make a donation or a contribution, both in terms of cash and in kind.
An estimated 5,000 people have been displaced by the volcanic eruption 2 weeks ago. These men, women and children have been relocated to the relief centers in Danda, near Turubu in the Wewak electorate. So far, some business houses like Chuka Industry and Lay Biscuit Company have come forward and donated food and medical supplies.
To make a donation, either in cash or in kind. Mainly, I'd like to ask that business houses here make cash donations because it is a big natural disaster in Wewak where more than 5,000 people are affected.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has also allocated 150,000 kina as the initial relief fund. Yesterday, the NCD governor gave 100,000 kina to assist the islanders. All these items donated will be packed properly and shipped to the affected islanders come Tuesday.
Arrange with the shipping companies. Hopefully by Monday, which is tomorrow, or latest by Tuesday, we should put all this on a ship and ship it to Wewak.
Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
A 24-hour report released by the Rabaul Volcano Observatory this afternoon has shown the Cordova volcano continues to erupt with no indication of stopping or slowing down. Continuous white steam plumes from the southeast coast vent is now rising to over 800 meters above sea level, with lava slowly flowing outwards and into the sea. Ash emitted that has been blowing north is now being blown south to southeast and has extended to over a few kilometers. The report also highlighted that deformation estimates from satellite data have indicated that continuous activity on the southeast coastal vent has made the volcano structure to the east unstable. It also maintains, due to the steepness of the island and its unstable structure, landslides are possible, and together with its explosive nature, tsunamis may be generated. The volcano remains a high-risk zone, and people, including shipping vessels and small boats, are advised to avoid the area. A new Citizenship Advisory Committee has been appointed. Chief Migration Officer Solomon Kantha says the committee will deliberate on citizenship applications for both dual and naturalized citizenship, including West Papuans. Mr. Kantha announced this when meeting the newly appointed Citizenship Advisory Committee Chairman and Thalassia MP Francis Maneke and Deputy Chair and Mulbai MP Koit Trape. 120 citizenship applications have been received for the committee to deliberate on in February. This will be the first time the CAC will meet on dual citizenship applications. Leaders of Simbu and Jiwaka provinces have signed 3 memorandums of understanding for the development of 2 major roads and a market facility between the 2 provinces. The MOUs are for the Minch-Kup-Gumini Road and the Dona-Kerawagi link. Over 50,000 people will benefit from these 2 vital road links, which have remained undeveloped for the past 35 years.
Nearly 5,000 people gathered at Drew Wamgul in Kerawagi district to witness this understanding between the leaders. The governors of Simbu and Jiwaka were present to embrace this road development project. They collectively believe rural communities neglected in past years will benefit in the near future. Kerawagi MP Barry Palmer says this bond creates a lasting impression between leaders and for other infrastructures in other sectors.
You know, you may amamas na to say, okay, road by go. You may excited. That's all. You may need to give meaning lo road. You may need to contribute lo country, district, province lo you may. Now you become a good plan, meaningful citizen lo sila country. Through lo road by building to you.
The leaders wasted no time to sign the instruments as a way forward for the development of these projects. Asian Development Bank will be funding this road infrastructure under the 4th Road Trans Impact Projects.
Plan the border work stop, Pamela in story. You will start in this past time.
The MOUs proposes the development of this joint border project, but is also open to counter funding. Anglim South District committed 1 million kina, while Gumini District 500,000.
But 1 million of legal money. We will by starting some people down. And we will by easy and contributing. Idea contribution material na come reaching you plan.
The leaders believe the 2 road projects will have economic value for both people and the provincial governments.
But important something road. You plan give me assurance or some other something by give free. You plan must talk through. No one can pull him. Let him open road opener. Something stop lo garden must go inside lo town.
Jack Lapavit Jr., National EMTV News.
Acting Hela Provincial Police Commander Thomas Luongo has confirmed the brutal killing of a police officer in Tari. PPC Luongo said the officer was travelling back from Ambua after a road check and was blocked at the Tigibi Bridge. He was held at gunpoint and asked to hand over his police-issued rifle to the group of men. When he refused, he was shot twice in the back and died instantly. No suspects have been arrested. Tari police have given the relatives of the suspects 48 hours to hand over those responsible before a raid is conducted. The delay in hearing fresh cases at the Lorengau District Court has forced the overcrowding at cells of the police station in Manos. Provincial Police Commander Chief Inspector David Yapu is now calling on the Magisterial Service to address this. PPC Yapu said while police understand that the provincial magistrate is on leave, he is concerned about the overcrowding at the police station cells.
The new police station in Manus was recently opened. However, the cells are overcrowded with 45 detainees. From these 45, 20 are prisoners who need a magistrate to review their warrants, and 25 are detainees with fresh cases. At the moment, there are no magistrates available since the last week of December 2017 to hear cases. The delay in processing these detainees has also affected normal police operations in the province. This has forced overcrowding at the cells, and PPC Yapu says the Provincial Magisterial Service needs to address this as it is already a breach of human rights. Thakla National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. The Censorship Office calls on parents to take control of what their children are watching, and the hope that is the agriculture sector. Those stories and more when we come back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. The Office of Censorship censors all films viewed in public places or sold in video shops. Lovelyn Douglas, Enforcement and Compliance Director from the Office of Censorship, says parents must also be responsible for what they allow their children to view. In an exclusive interview with EMTV, the Office of Censorship allowed EMTV News a sneak peek into the process of film censorship.
This year has already seen the Enforcement and Compliance team from the Office of Censorship screening 25 titles for the video shop and 6 films for Paradise Cinemas. Have you ever thought about the process it takes to have the film you buy from the video shop or are watching at the cinemas to be allowed for screening?
They register with us. They bring in we have the understanding that they bring the movies to us.
Mind you, what does that mean?
I have no idea. I've never heard of it.
The first copy is screened by the officers using classification guidelines. Upon that, appropriate ratings are specified and the copy is given back to the distributor for selling.
Spencer Gilpin? Yeah, Spencer Gilpin. He's been tutoring me. He's helped me get my grades up.
I love to hear that. Well, Spencer Gilpin.
For the cinema, it's a different scenario. The Enforcement and Compliance team go to the cinema to do the screening. However, the procedures and process is the same.
For Paradise Cinemas, they have a schedule on the, especially the movies. So it's like a timetable that whenever they have a movie coming up, before they are scheduled to be premiered, we view it 1 or 2 days early. We give them the rating. We let them show it to the public. If we see that it is not good for public, we restrict it from showing, and they won't show.
Richard Tabel, an enforcement officer, says that censorship begins at home.
Information that we give out is that censorship starts at home. Okay, parents are responsible for what the children are viewing, and therefore certain guidelines that we see that is followed by the officers is then transferred onto the movies or the films that are being aired.
Lovelyn Douglas calls on parents to be responsible for what their children are viewing.
Appealing to the parents to guide their children towards the proper movies that they're supposed to watch.
Lillian Kinea, National EMTV News.
Through the second Alotau Accord, the agriculture sector has been given priority. Part of this support is through an agriculture equity investment facility to the tune of 100 million kina through the government's 2018 national budget. The agriculture sector has been encouraged to make use of this funding to create more economic activity within agriculture this year. Speaking at the recent dedication service for the agriculture sector just outside of Port Moresby, Agriculture and Livestock Secretary Dr. Velepet Ilaava acknowledged the government for prioritizing this sector through the second Alotau Accord.
I think it's also an opportunity to thank the O'Neill able government for making agriculture the #1 sector, economic sector in this country under the Alotau Accord #2. The government has finally got it right. Agriculture is supposed to be the #1, and we have always been put somewhere below under the priority list. So I thank God, I thank the O'Neill government for the wisdom, and I think we also have a very strong, honest and very strong leader in Honourable Benny Allen.
This financing facility, according to Secretary Ilaava, is now available through the National Development Bank.
The other option is to go through the National Development Bank and also obviously to the Cabinet, NEC submissions to access. But again, we would like to coordinate all this very well rather than everybody going in and making submissions so that we are not wasting funds unnecessarily.
According to Dr. Ilaava, given the significant increase in priority to agriculture through the national budget, the sector also has to increase transparency and accountability.
I think the key thing we need to do quickly is to get organized and the biggest challenge is trying to ramp up the production as quickly as we can.
Dr. Ilaava is encouraging all agriculture commodity boards and agencies to work together to restore the faith of government, but more importantly, the people in the agriculture sector.
But we need to capture those interests and then get ourselves organized so that when they do come in, we have the systems in place and the institutions in place to start to transfer the benefits right down to the farmers.
Awareness will be the main focus for the Community Development Department this year. Secretary Anna Solomon has announced to work closely with the media for the dissemination of public information.
Reaching out to the wider population is a challenge in Papua New Guinea, considering the country's geographical landscape. However, the Community Development Department is taking the challenge to work closely with the media on advocacy and development.
Media is the main tool for us, the main platform for us. My challenge to media as well is in those areas where we can't reach through media or through coverage, how can we reach them? How can you still help us reach those unreachable? And these are some of the proposals that we'll be looking at as well from all the media companies out there to help us get many of these messages across. The focus is awareness. There is a big push for awareness and informing our people on their rights, as well as what the law says about gender-based violence, what the law says about social-related violence, what the law says about child abuse. Many people still do not know that. And so that's where we will really need media.
Other platforms will also be used, like music, to drive more awareness.
For media, we will need many other tools, such as the music industry, to help us get these messages across to the mass population. Apart from the music industry, what other tools are there?
And this initiative has been supported well by the minister responsible, who is a firm believer on how powerful the media is.
So those why questions are not being answered. We need to go into the society to start understanding the cause of this issue. So our job is not only to address make awareness, but also to establish the why issues, so as to enabling us to know exactly where is this issue coming from, in order to best address this issue, in order for us to develop strategies and programs in addressing this issue.
The Secretary has also announced the department will be promoting the media's role through its awards, which they have initiated. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
With Papua New Guinea playing host to a series of APEC meetings this year, the Investment Promotion Authority has prepared for an increase in interest, particularly from APEC member countries. According to the IPA, this has seen the organization have in place dedicated officers for APEC. 2018 is the year all eyes of the Asia-Pacific region will be on Papua New Guinea, with the country playing host to APEC. Speaking to National EMTV News, Acting Managing Director of IPA, Clarence Holt, said as a lead government agency, they have prepared to deal with interests from these countries, with the IPA appointing dedicated officers to deal with APEC-related queries. Through APEC, the IPA is spearheading two working groups, the International Property Experts Group and the Investments Experts Group. These groups will be meeting in PNG next month.
I have officers allocated to that, and we're thankful to the APEC Secretariat and the Chief Secretary and the Prime Minister's Department for supporting us. We have officers who went for training under the special arrangements with the Australian universities, both from the investment promotion side and the intellectual property side. So those officers are ready to take on board the challenges come 2018, and in February, yes, we are ready to host those two meetings, and I'm sure through the ambassador's office, senior officer's office, other agencies are also ready for the APEC year in 2018.
Despite it only being the third week of 2018, the IPA has already confirmed to host a few country delegations into the country, among them a business delegation from China.
We are already working on a business delegation coming from China, another one coming from Australia. These two missions are led by the Pacific Trade and Invest offices. They'll be coming in here next month. We have a group coming in from Japan, another group coming in from Fiji.
According to Mr. Hood, the increased interest in business within PNG is a positive beginning for this APEC year, and the IPA will be partnering with relevant stakeholders to ensure that the country fully utilizes the opportunities that are presented by APEC.
So I think we're seeing a lot of interest as a result of APEC coming up, and these are good signals. And the challenge is for us to be prepared to receive them and show them the right places, provide them the right information and the relevant information in terms of business. And of course the hospitality that Papua New Guineans are very good at offering.
The National Fisheries Authority and autonomous Bougainville governments will sign an MOU paving the way for the ABG to take charge of the autonomous region's fisheries sector. The MOU, which will be signed in Buka on Tuesday, is part of the national government's commitment under the Bougainville Peace Agreement and the Organic Law on Peace Building. And this MOU is also part of the implementation of the Joint Supervisory Body resolutions. Minister for Bougainville Affairs and Member for South Bougainville, Simon Damarino, says this agreement is crucial for the economic development of the region, especially at a time when it is preparing for a referendum on its political future. Tomorrow, elementary, primary and secondary teachers around the country will resume their duties. Deputy Head Teacher for Bomana Demonstration School, Namigala, says 22 teachers will report for duties at her school. Students will enroll the following week.
Bomana Demonstration School will join thousands of teaching staff of government-run elementary, primary and secondary schools tomorrow for the start of the academic year. The school's deputy head teacher says the week-long preparation will see new teachers be introduced to the host school and respective duties will be distributed to each teacher.
Next week, tomorrow Monday, this week is called Orientation Week, which if our new teachers are posted, we are going to let that teacher to be familiar to our environment, the new environment, and also we are going to distribute the classes, who's going to teach which class and which classroom will be given to each grade and which senior teacher is going to look after which base level teachers. We are going to share the job.
Over 1,500 students were enrolled here last year, and the school is expecting a jump from last year's enrollment numbers.
Last year we had 1,550. Now we are expecting more because new police barracks built there. We didn't get any because in the middle of the year last year they moved in, so we are expecting more to come to our school. Maybe it might go up to 2,000.
Mrs. Gala says the school will be starting the year with a healthy balance sheet as government funding last year was given on a timely basis.
We will not have any problem with our TFF money. We have a lot of money in the account, and also our school supplies that were given end of the year, they are still there. And I put it on the program that on Tuesday, we are going to distribute all this to the teachers so that before the children come.
Harry Gimbari, National MTV News.
This is Sunday's news. Among stories after the break, the Golden Jubilee of the United Church in Papua New Guinea. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Adventure Park at 14 Mile outside Port Moresby has the catch and win competition happening every weekend. This weekend saw 15 lucky winners win a combined total of 2,600 kina in cash. The fishing competition gives residents around NCD a chance to win cash during the last few weeks of the school holidays. Next weekend is the final weekend for the catch and win competition. The United Church of Papua New Guinea has reached a milestone of 50 years of service. The church was formed in 1968 by the merging of the efforts of the London Missionary Society, operating exclusively in Papua, the relatively marginal Presbyterian Church, which was confined to Port Moresby, and the Methodist Mission, operating in the New Guinea Islands. Today, members of the various United Churches from across all regions within the country came together in celebration of the church's Golden Jubilee.
The London Missionary Society began its work in today's Papua New Guinea back in 1871. Several groups of Christians from the Pacific Islands came to work with the mission through the Papuan mainland. The Australian Methodist Church, now known as the Uniting Church in Australia, responded to the request to join the pioneering work. The Methodist mission covered 3 independent areas. These joined together in 1950 in mission work in the Southern Highlands. In 1962, the London Missionary Society, together with the mission of the Presbyterian Church in New Zealand and another mission body, formed the Papua Ecclesia, at the time the largest single church in Papua. A further union took place on the 19th of January 1968 when the Papua Ecclesia, the Methodist and the Union Church of Port Moresby together established the United Church in Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands, as is the significance of today's celebration service. In 1996, the General Assembly of the United Church in Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands resolved that the existence of one United Church covering 2 independent countries should no longer be maintained. Thus, the United Church in Papua New Guinea came into being an autonomous church of its own. Today's celebration started off with the arrival of various representatives of the 11 regions in the United Church entering by floats and marching into Sir John Guy's indoor complex with police escort. Followed by the usual church service, a minute of silence to remember early missionaries and creative dancing and other activities afterward. United Church moderator Reverend Bernard C.I. expressed that one of the most significant events of the past 50 years is that the church now recognizes and allows women to be ordained as ministers and pastors.
Events that took place, very significant events. One of those we have is the United States has actually accepted the women into the ministry. That's one of the achievements. We have women who are ordained ministers of the United States in Papua New Guinea as well as Solomon Islands. So that's one of the biggest things that happen in the project we're launching for the next 50 years is to dreaming about having a college of higher education, which will turn in later on into a university, which we dream about.
Soy Moika, an inmate at the Bomana prison, had walked from Bomana on the day to be part of the Golden Jubilee celebrations today.
And I am a state prisoner. Me saving time how God will listen me. I have testimony to tell right now. I survived with one land. Left land below me, 1+ years, officer fighting me and me die and God saving me. Now me survive 1+ land. So God am release me. So I know that God today, the living God, you me saving myself.
Reverend Bennett expressed gratefulness at the fact that although the church is heavily funded by its members and church partners, setbacks have been minor and the church had grown from strength to strength in the last 50 years. The celebrations concluded with various church activities with singing and creative dances to finish. Helen Sea, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, at least 5 people in the Afghan capital have been killed after attackers stormed the Intercontinental Hotel in Kabul.
2 Afghan news outlets also report that 100 people were rescued. That includes 16 foreigners. Special forces are now trying to clear the hotel. Moments ago, we saw smoke coming out of the building after the 3rd floor was set on fire during the attack. The overnight siege had been ongoing for more than 12 hours. An official earlier told CNN that 2 of the 4 attackers had been killed, and there's no claim of responsibility so far on this.
You're watching National EMTV News. Trukai Sports is up next. We have NSL updates and the next phase of PNG Sporting High Performance. Stay tuned for that.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with football, and in the NSL, after a sour defeat yesterday in the clash with Besta FC, Momase FC will meet Southern Strikers in Wednesday in the washout matches. while Besta will wait for the turn to take on the Strikers on Saturday in round 3 here in Port Moresby. Defending champions Toti City Dwellers look to continue their good form in their meet with Madang FC in Lae.
Following last week's closure of the Bisini Sporting Facility here in Port Moresby, which resulted in a reschedule of the NSL Round 1 match between Southern Strikers and Besta, Round 2 of the competition went smoothly yesterday. Round 3 will continue next weekend again in Lae, Madang and Port Moresby. And this weekend's results saw strong plays from all 6 teams who took the field, though Toti City Dwellers proved to still have the flair from last season, driving Buang FC up the wall 8-1 in Lae yesterday. Momasa FC, on the other hand, are yet to put on their best performance, having lost the match yesterday to Besta 3-1. This Wednesday's match will see them in washouts against Southern Strikers, who are just recovering from the 5-0 defeat Madang gave them at the Leeuwarden Oval yesterday. Meanwhile, Madang FC has some big names this season in the likes of PNG skipper Michael Foster, along with internationals Abel Redenat and Charles Lepani. The trio arrived in Madang a few days ago and joined a new team for yesterday's match. This is expected to boost performance for Madang's side, and results can already be seen with the team performing well. The competition itself is now down to 7 teams, with Manus staying out this season. Dinero Striker, National, EMTV Sports.
PNG High Performance will work closely with universities to identify raw talent as potential future athletes for Papua New Guinea. High Performance Manager Cornelius Papo says they will engage with university students as part of the talent identification program. Some raw talent were also identified at the recent 7th PNG Games in West New Britain Province.
Since the establishment of the Talent Identification Program, PNG High Performance has identified young and upcoming athletes of the future. Today, carrying out the program in search of more talents in local communities, High Performance is now running TIDs for high school students, where over 2,000 plus have been screened in the past. High Performance Manager says recently the Talent ID program has been extended into universities.
We really want to work with the provincial team management really properly. Like talent identification is really it's a area of its own, you know. And just by seeing thousands of athletes, with raw talents, during the event was really amazing for us. And for us to, run testing with all of them, we really want to work with the provincial team just to get, for the team to be really familiar with the testing, which is very, very important. If we can have that core and for those provincial teams to understand what high performance is, it makes it more easy for us at the end.
Papau says last year's PNG Games saw a Talent ID program run concurrently with PNG Games that turned out to be a success as raw talents were recognized.
Last year and the previous year we did the Talent Identification program with the secondary schools, and late last year we did introduce it to the tertiary institutions. This year we might go another level now. There's a couple of, I think 20 or 30 of the student athletes have been selected to attend our talent identification program, so it's very, very exciting for us. And this year we have gone ahead and planned for a very to have them all now coming to High Performance Center, and also try to roll this program out to other tertiary institutions as well.
PNG High Performance initially stepped in as a strength and conditioning and sports medicine assistant team to support 2015 Pacific Games athletes before branching out to now running TID and coaching clinics for coaches and athletes. Now working in partnership with PNG Olympic Committee, Papau says the main objective of the program is not only to identify talented individuals as future representatives for the country, but also to create better citizens. Godwin Eki, National, EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after these messages. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To Rugby League, Widnes Vikings recruit Wellington Albert has been granted a UK visa to work and live in the United Kingdom. His visa was approved yesterday.
Wellington had his final immigration meeting with the Home Office, where he received his permit to work with the Vikings. Meanwhile, brother Stanton Albert will have his visa meeting next week. Guinea's away travel has jumped on board to sponsor Wellington Albert for the 2018 season. The Albert brothers left Port Moresby last week Tuesday to pursue their rugby league careers in the English Super League with the Widnes Vikings. Both brothers have joined the Vikings on a 2-year contract after playing major roles in the 2017 Hunters Premiership win and the Commonwealth Rugby League World Cup team. The duo is looking forward to the 2018 season with the Vikings despite the tragic beginning to the year with teammate and close friend Kato Otio Saring passing. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Still in Rugby League, 30 teams are competing for a spot in the top 8 of the Bomana off-season. The competition has seen overwhelming interest from teams in wards 9 and 12 of Moresby Northeast Electorate.
The Bomana off-season Rugby League kicked off in October 2017, and teams are now playing for the top 8 placing. Michael Ugo, who is the organizer, explains that the competition is made up of 15 teams in Pool A and 15 teams in Pool B.
30 teams lo what 12 no what 9 lem lo ronim le na what 6 no what 5 online lo goden so ronim la na nanit lo leadership lo JK no to correct lo John Papua am la ronim nanit le 30 teams no teams kamosem lo 14 mile kinakon tenov na goselo buswara laloki na goldi na 9 mile erima na maklo erima ikambe gosem golo 8 mile laro no mosem 30 blatim sim laustim leya.
The matches are played at the Bomana Primary School Oval, with teams coming from as far as 14 Mile and Laloki in the Kairukuhiwi district. Bomana off-season is one of the main rugby league competition in Port Moresby. However, due to lack of funding support over the years, the competition was halted until 2016 when it was revived.
Our disciplines team will start Jelotov and one to dust, one plan polar particles. Okay, motivated na mangi agoro bullets. Okay, na caravan nights, 5 plus 6 or some one bla low in blam. Erima magpies tools are coming to 6 blam, will stop Jelotop, also play strong through la competition when I'm running to.
This is round 9 of the competition, and teams are competing to secure a place in the top 8. Teklagunga, National EMTV Sports.
To netball now, and despite being widely seen as a women's sport, PNG Netball is looking at encouraging inclusiveness this year. Men took up the challenge last year when a mixed team calling themselves the Maleos was put in place to test the national team, the Pepes. Making the sport inclusive brings more agility and competitiveness, according to the Federation President, Julian Leka Maliaki.
Sports is very dynamic and we need to be inclusive, and we always like to have men in our game, you know, whether you are a spectator, you're a parent, but it's always important to be inclusive, especially in Papua New Guinea where culture is so important, and so we try to promote family and unity. So we continue to support the men's and mixed netball, and they've always been part of us. They have a separate high performance program, but every so often they blend in with what we do as well. And once we get our squads together, we will be getting them to be part of the training program, because they give a little bit more, you know, a slightly different competition to the girls.
To softball now, and the Yokomo men's team today secured their position on the points ladder by winning 2 double-header matches. Vice-captain for the men's A-grade, Fraser Kudada, says their win was a result of their commitment in training.
Yokomo made a strong comeback today, claiming the double-header matches, with another successful win in the last match late this afternoon.
He came home, Yokomo
I'm pretty sure people didn't expect that, but it was a pretty brilliant play there by Paul Bogan.
Yokomo proved they worth winning, defeating Gazelle in a strong, close and counter match with a 4-3 win.
Today's game we had a double-header. We had a game in the morning against Saints. The game was pretty intense, but it went out well with a win. We won with 13-9. But we had some of the boys that flew back from Medang, so it was pretty good for them to come back and at least start off with a win. Both wins, the morning win and the afternoon win.
The team is looking forward for another successful season.
We have a lot of young guns coming up in the club, so I'm pretty sure Yokomo has a good reputation in its long run in the men's competition in Port Moresby.
Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV Sports.
Turning overseas, and in tennis, it's starting to get really interesting in Melbourne. The home fans will be cheering today for the home favourite Nick Kyrgios when he plays in a featured match at the Rod Laver Arena against third seed Grigor Dimitrov.
Top men's seed Rafael Nadal playing Argentina's Diego Schwartzman currently. The Spaniard has been in wonderful form, ruthlessly dismantling his first three opponents as he sets his sights on a 17th Grand Slam title. Rafa won the first 6-3. They're underway in the second. Nadal would meet Spanish 10th seed Pablo Carreno Busta or Croatian 6th seed Marin Cilic next. Good match here. Busta started hot, but then Cilic took over, winning the next 3 sets and the match. And Nadal, by the way, has won 5 straight against Cilic should they meet in the next round. World number 2, Caroline Wozniacki headlines the women's side of the draw. A semi-finalist in Melbourne in 2011. Wozniacki putting together a gritty run and up against Slovakia's Magdalena Rybarikova, and this was no problem. Wozniacki is through to the quarterfinals after a solid 6-3, 6-0 win in 63 minutes. After nearly losing in the second round, the world number 2 may be on track for number 1 in the world as she won her last 2 matches in straight sets. Wozniacki moving on, and will have that quarterfinal against Spain's Carla Suarez Navarro, who won a 3-setter. 4th seed Elina Svitolina's title hopes are still alive, and she will be looking to match her best Grand Slam performance and make the last 8 by beating qualifier Denisa Alertova.
To football now, into the English Premier League, a significant deal involving 2 of England's biggest football clubs. British media reports say Alex Sanchez is heading to Manchester, where he's finalising a deal with United, a straight swap with the Red Devils midfielder Henrik Mkhitaryan.
The Chilean international, whose contract with Arsenal was due to expire this summer, scored 80 goals in 166 appearances for Arsenal since joining them from Barcelona in 2014. Mkhitaryan, who set to have a medical at Arsenal Sunday and Monday after the paperwork for his transfer was completed Saturday. Gunners boss Arsene Wenger had said that Sanchez would only join United if Mkhitaryan moved to Arsenal.
And that's it for Trukai Sports. Stay tuned. Up next is your weather details for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And before we go, recapping our main stories this evening. Port Moresby City residents give to Cordova relief as experts say eruptions continuing. Censorship office says parents must take control of what their children are watching. And the United Church in Papua New Guinea celebrates their Golden Jubilee. And that's how it is this Sunday, January the 21st, 2018. On behalf of the EMTV News team, have a great working week. Pleasant viewing. Good night.